everyone, and welcome back to a season 2 of NFL Playoff Pick'em. Yes, we decided to bring this back. Isn't that exciting?
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't
Exactly, right?
we?
Like, why wouldn't we, right? But I'm joined here with EJ the
Come
Cobra
on,
Samuel.
man.
What is
Like,
up?
the champ's here. The
He
champ's
is.
here,
He
right?
is. He's the champ. He's the champ. Yes. But
I am fantastic. The champ is here. The champ is here. And the Steelers are in the playoffs. I have no optimism whatsoever for any, and I'm gonna defend my title regardless. Let's go.
all right, let's go. Okay. So we're gonna start off with obviously Wild Card Weekend. We have 4 other people doing this with us that are not on the show. We have Jake Jones, Zach, Isaiah, and last but definitely not least, Kayla. They're doing the picks with us. Let's go over their picks real quick. So Zach picked the Texans over the Browns, Miami over Kansas City, the Bills over the Steelers, the Bucks over the Eagles, the Lions over the Rams, and the Packers over the Cowboys. And then Jake Jones,
Ooh,
he picked
okay. All right, all right.
Browns over Texans, Kansas City over Miami, Bills over
Mm,
Steelers, Eagles over
mm.
Bucks, Lions over Rams, and Green Bay over Dallas. And we
Oof,
have
okay.
and then we have Isaiah, which is EJ's brother, by the way. We have him with the Browns over the Texans, Miami over Kansas City, Steelers over the Bills, Bucks over the Eagles, the Rams over the Lions, and Dallas over Green Bay. And last, we got
Okay.
Kayla. She picked the Browns over the Texans, Miami over Kansas City, Steelers over the Bills, Eagles over the Bucks, Lions over the Rams, and Dallas over Green Bay. So they're all pretty similar.
Okay. All right. All right. They're solid. They're solid. Solid
Yeah.
picks.
So
All
now
right.
let's
Let's
get
see
into
what's
our
up here.
picks. So let's get into our thing. So you want to start AFC or NFC?
I mean, you're going first, so it's up to you.
All right. Since I'm going first, we're gonna go NFC because I am a fan of an NFC team. So let's begin. All right. So we're gonna start with my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, I don't think they win this game. They have played awful football the last couple weeks, like bad football. And
Oh yeah.
honestly, I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could think of a couple things. I think Jalen Hurts is injured. I think he's hurting, but I think our main issue is Brian Johnson, our offensive coordinator. I think, because if you look at last year, same players, same head coach, different coordinators. So the only thing that's different is the coordinators. Now we did fire the defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia. Our secondary, I think, is awful. Personally, I think the Eagles secondary sucks. There's no real leader on that secondary, and I just don't think they're that good. So I think the Bucks, despite not being good, the Eagles are playing horrible, and I just think the season's over. Personally, I'm taking the Bucks over the Eagles.
I actually could not agree more. And the fact that the stats, and I'm sincerely hoping that my Wi-Fi is, holding its own right now.
It wasn't at the
We
beginning.
had a
Now
bad
it is, though.
rainstorm. We had a bad rainstorm, and it's been kind of crazy. But let's get so the stats do say that the Eagles should win this game,
Oh,
folks. Like
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
stats say that the Eagles should win this game. I mean, looking at the two quarterbacks, I'm assuming it'll be Baker Mayfield in for Tampa Bay. So
Yes.
match those two guys up, right? The only thing that I'm seeing here is Jalen Hurts throws more interceptions, folks. He throws more interceptions. And the
Yeah.
problem is when the tush push does not involve the Eagles offense really doesn't get things done. And
That's what I'm saying.
unfortunately,
Especially the last couple weeks, they haven't been able to do anything.
like Seattle, you should have won that game. What are you doing? And the Eagles offense just fell apart. And it's unfortunate to see, especially for people in our area. But unfortunately, I think Tampa Bay is riding into this win. They're actually kind of hot right now.
I agree.
They're
I
playing some
agree.
good football. And I'm gonna go Buccaneers 24, Eagles 20.
Okay, yeah, that's a valid score. I could see that. It's going to be a close game regardless. I just don't think the Eagles pull it out.
Yes, it's gonna be a fantastic game.
Yeah.
They've
All
played
right.
they've played this team before,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, they did. Yeah, definitely. All right.
I don't know.
All right. So next we have the Lions and the Rams. Now this game, I'm intrigued on. I'm actually
Oh
more excited for
boy.
this game than I am the Eagles. I'm not gonna lie, because I my second team in the playoffs is the Lions. I'm rooting for the Lions, man. Let me tell you, I love what they're doing. I love Dan Campbell. I think they can
Yeah.
make I think they can make some noise in the playoffs. I'm taking them over the Rams.
You're taking them over the Rams.
I am
Okay. Now
personally. Yeah.
this is this think about this though. This is a game we've waited for. This is Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford,
That's what I'm saying.
two
Yes, yes.
players that were switched, and this is you couldn't write a better storyline for this game. Now
Right.
Matthew Stafford spent all that time and played in a playoff game for the Lions.
That
They
is
lost
true.
to the Eagles. Remember the big snow game, all of
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Now I think this is an interesting game because
Agreed.
the Rams are starting to put pieces together. I think the loss to Pittsburgh really made them have to push and get it together. But they sit at a record of 9-6, which isn't terrible. Jared Goff, you know, interesting stuff for him, turning it around, and now bringing Dan Campbell's fantastic. I think he's fantastic. And let's just be real, the Lions should have won that game at Dallas.
Oh my God,
Uh,
easily. That game,
Absolutely.
the Lions should have won that game.
Now, right now, the stats lean towards the Lions. I mean, Jared Goff alone leads in, I think, what all seven of the major categories.
Mhm.
And it's just, now Matthew Stafford didn't play 17 games like Jared Goff did. He only played 15, but even
Yeah,
then, the stats are there. Uh, I think Jared Goff gets it done. I'm gonna go with the Lions on
all
this
right.
game. I'm gonna say Lions 21, Rams 17. And Rams fans, I wouldn't lose hope because
No.
if they could play like they've played towards the end of the season, I think they could do something upcoming next year.
Oh,
But I got to go
absolutely.
with my boy Jared Goff. So
Right. I just think the Lions are just a better team right now, personally. I don't know. The Rams, ever since
they
that
are.
the whole Super Bowl hangover they've had, they I mean, what were they the year after they won the Super Bowl, they won 5 games, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it was not good. They went like
No.
5-12 or something.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
yeah. So let's move on to our final NFC game of the wild card weekend. We have the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. Now, this game, I don't think many people believe in Honestly, I don't think many people believe in the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. I honestly feel
Not a
like
lot of people do.
not a lot of people do, especially for, as I hate to say it, the Cowboys have played. I mean, the Cowboys, they're a weird team to me. As much as I hate them, I'm going to be like non-biased here, talking towards them. They've shown so many good signs. Like they played great football. I'm being honest here,
Oh yes, they absolutely have.
but they've also played bad football. Like they're one of the most
Yep,
inconsistent teams I've seen in the NFL. They are,
absolutely.
and they were down to the Commanders last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, do I see them winning this game? I'm I'm gonna have to pick the Cowboys over the Packers. I'm gonna have to.
Yes,
I
it
have
sucks.
yeah,
It
but
sucks that we have to pick the Cowboys, but unfortunately, I'm going to also pick the Cowboys. Listen, I think Aaron Rodgers leaving for New York was a fun move, and to put the Packers in an interesting situation. There's a fire probably down the street because there's a fire truck. Doesn't matter. The Packers have Jordan Love, and I think they're fantastic
they are. They're a
with
good team,
him at the
honestly.
moment. I mean, he's gelling with the guys, and he's doing a lot more than people realize. Especially being stuck in a situation to fill in the shoes of Aaron Rodgers, and I think this year won't be it for them, but they are going to
They're
be
on the rise.
scary. I
Oh,
think Jordan Love is the real deal.
I do too.
Unfortunately, I just think Dallas is just they're too much, man.
Right now they are.
Um,
Right now they
and
are.
Mike McCarthy's got a lot to prove.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe CD Lamb is going for big. He's going for big milestones
I
now.
believe
He's
so. I don't
having
know
a good
exactly
year.
what it is, but I believe he is. I could be wrong.
And let me tell you something. This is make or break it for Dak Prescott, guys.
It
This
is.
is make or break it for Dak
I'm telling
Prescott.
you,
I
if
mean,
they lose, he's gone. He's gone
if
if
he
they
has a bad game, the Cowboys might not re-sign him
they're
because
probably
they
not.
learned their lesson on Tony Romo when they stuck around with Tony Romo. We're loyal to Tony even though he chokes in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Where'd that
really?
get him?
Yeah.
They're not going to do this with Dak Prescott. If it's his fault that they have a bad game and the Packers upset the Cowboys, paint me shocked and paint Dak Prescott gone.
I
Give me
agree.
the Cowboys.
All right, yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take them 30 to 21.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Again, I think the Cowboys right now are too much for the Packers to handle. All right. So NFC's done. Let's move on to the AFC. EJ, you could start off this one because it is your team, the Stillers, over with the Bills. What do you
Oh
got?
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up.
Hold on,
Hold
he got
up. Got to get my game on. All right. Got my thinking cap on. I wear this to games, folks. I wear this to games.
I know. I see
I was
pictures.
thinking about wearing the Joey Porter, but I stuck with the Broderick Jones.
Okay.
I
All
stuck
right.
with the Broderick Jones, because support offensive linemen. Okay,
Of course.
they're
Yes,
people too.
absolutely. I
But
got it.
anyway,
I got Jason
let's
Kelsey
just
on
be
right
real
now.
here. Got it. So we got offensive line. What are we
Yeah.
going? Are we going secondary next week? Let's go secondary
Yeah.
next week.
I'll try and find a jersey.
So guys, call me a homer. I'm going to take the Steelers by 2 points. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them 21-19.
All
Here's why. Here's why. It's not me being a homer. It's not me being a homer. In fact, I'll set the towel down. I'll take the Yinzer cap off.
right. The Yinzer.
Here's what we're doing. Ready? Okay. So the Steelers are playing really good football right now off of a man named Mason Rudolph. Who
Yes.
would have saw this coming?
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
this is a situation that the Steelers have been in before. And it reminds me, the undershirt that I'm wearing, the 2005 Super Bowl champions, where they had their backs up against the wall. All was lost. Nothing was going their way. They had to win their way into the playoffs, and they needed help, and they got it. And then it was an uphill battle from there. Nobody said they'd beat Carson Palmer and the Bengals, and they did it. They did it. Najee Harris reminds me exactly like how Jerome Bettis had to play his last year. Ready? And then the storybook is right there. So beside me being a homer, let's just talk about Josh Allen. Did you watch Sunday Night Football? Because I did. He got lucky. He
Yeah.
was horrible. Horrible.
Much like
He
the
throws too many interceptions. He's very inconsistent. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I think Joey Porter, I think old Patrick Peterson is going to be able to do something with that. So what? They lose TJ Watt. It's a big loss. They get Cam Hayward back. We have a Landon Roberts who's playing out of his mind out of nowhere, right? They've got the guys to do it. I think Pittsburgh, I would rather have them played Buffalo than Kansas City. Forget it. I think Pittsburgh gets it done because they want Baltimore. They want to sweep them 3 times. That's what they're doing. Give me the Steelers so that they can lose next week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. And honestly, I agree with the Josh Allen points. Josh Allen hasn't been playing great football at all. I think the Bills, I even said this last year. I forget in what context, but I said this is the start of a decline for the Bills, their downfall. I think the Bills are slowly declining and it's going to be another rebuild. But I just think, again, Mason Rudolph, like you said, who would have thought a couple years ago? Who would have thought he'd be leading the Steelers to the playoffs right now? Like, who would have thought that he'd be playing as good a football as he is right now? But I'm gonna take the Bills in a very close game. I'm telling you, it's gonna be very close. Steelers are gonna be very competitive. They're not a bad team. I just, like you said, the Watt thing doesn't make a difference, but I think it does a little bit. I think he makes that defense. He turns that defense into a different animal. Personally, I know they have other good guys, but Watt
I
is the
think
difference maker on defense.
Okay, remember this name, Nick Herbig. Just remember that name. Let me tell you something. The Pittsburgh Steelers have played multiple games without TJ Watt. He's injured a lot because he's
He is
held every single play, and he is absolutely destroyed by offensive line, and it's just not good. And that's a situation for a different time. But Nick Herbig has stepped up every single time that they've needed him, and the Steelers were just fine. So I think they won't have a problem.
Okay.
Next, please. Let's
All
get it
right.
going.
Next we have the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. You know what? I just thought of something now that you bring up the Kansas City Chiefs.
What?
I think we might have another downfall on our hands.
Kansas
I
City?
think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're going to barely get, I think they're barely going to get through this game. Give me the
You think
Chiefs,
they're gonna win?
but.
You think they're gonna win?
Give me the Chiefs, but. They're done. They are done. Because if you think about this, right? They could get Pittsburgh, who is quite confident right now. Buffalo, if Pittsburgh loses, that's going to be a tough game. They've always gone back and forth, and the Chiefs are going to be on the losing end of that one if that happens. They could play Baltimore, right, at some point. They could play Houston or Cleveland, who we'll talk about. both have either a stellar offense or a stellar defense, depending on the team. The Chiefs are dropping games they shouldn't be dropping. The Raiders, really? You lost to the Raiders with
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce both in? Something tells me that's not good. Give me by virtue of home advantage and 10-degree weather that they beat the Dolphins. Like a 24-21 game,
Okay.
but it's not going to last. I think the downfall is going to start. And if they lose, you watch, their whole front office is going to fall apart. You watch.
That's
I
what I'm
called it.
saying. And honestly, I just don't personally, I don't think the Chiefs are very good. I don't think they're a good football team. I'm just saying.
They're not.
I'm taking Miami over them. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Miami beats them. That's
It
that's
very well could go that way. Very well
I'm
could.
taking them because again, Kansas City, they've dropped so many games they shouldn't have, and again, it's another downfall. Like we were just talking about the Bills. I think Kansas City's going that way too. Two of the teams that would play for the AFC Championship every year for the last couple of years, right? That are competing for the AFC Championship every year. Now
Oh yeah.
going down the decline. It's going to be a new, fresh slate of teams, and I think Miami is one of those teams that could do that. I don't know for sure. Again, I'm still a little questionable about Tua. I am. Even though I think he's pretty good, I'm still like for them to be a contender. I don't know because I just don't. I'm not 100% sure on Tua yet. But Tyreek Hill,
Good
though, let me tell
segue.
you,
Good.
Tyreek Hill, dog. He's a dog.
Good segue. You know what else is a dog? The
Who?
Cleveland Browns. That's their logo. And let's talk about them real
All
quick.
right, now let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. EJ, who you got?
See, this is an interesting game. This is going to be the game of the week. I just want you all to know this is going to be the game of the week. This is CJ Stroud and his offensive line taking on Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns. And as much as I am a Steeler fan, I cannot disagree with the fact that Myles Garrett could very well be the defensive player of the year. And I also think that he is quite good. If any of you watched the Pittsburgh Cleveland game like I did, I saw some things. He's growing as a player. He is definitely the top, if not one of the top players in the NFL on both sides of the ball. He's
Right.
fantastic. And I think that you've got an interesting and maybe precarious, maybe bit of optimism for the Houston Texans, who at one point were dead in the water and have picked up a quarterback by the name of CJ Stroud, who has just rattled off, just
Yes.
gone off.
Great.
It's
He's
another
had a
thing that
great,
that
great
Penn
rookie
State
year.
fans were wrong about. It's another thing Penn State fans were wrong about. Not to
CJ
bring
Stroud.
college into it, but
Yeah.
guess what? They said CJ Stroud would never make it. Oh, he went for Ohio State. Let me tell you something. Um, let's just be real here. He's pretty darn good.
He is good.
I mean, he's good. But unfortunately, I think that the offensive line of the Texans is going to be the difference maker. They either step up and win it or they don't. Because Myles Garrett, who is he going to go up against? Laramie Tunsil, I believe,
Is
and
it
that'll
Laremy
be
Tunsil?
horrible. I think it's Laramie Tunsil, and even then, Myles Garrett going to beat him every single time. And what
Yeah.
good is a good quarterback if he can't even get the ball out of his hands? That's why I said Kenny Pickett. You need to give Kenny Pickett a little bit of time, and I stand by that. But you know, I think that Cleveland is a more complete team. And you watch, if Pittsburgh loses, we're going to see Cleveland face with Joe Flacco face his old team in the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
That would be really, really cool, minus the fact that they're division rivals for me. I'm going to take Cleveland in this game. I'm going to say
Okay.
this goes to OT.
OT in the playoffs.
I'm going to say OT. Give me the Cleveland Browns 27-24. And
In
that is
OT.
the spiciest thing that ever came out my mouth. Lord Myron Cope, I am so, so sorry for taking the Browns. Franco, forgive me. I have to do it because I just think that they're good enough to win a singular playoff game.
I agree. Okay.
Next,
Yeah. I'm I'm
what's up
I'm
to you?
honestly gonna take the Browns. I think the defense is gonna be the difference maker. Sure, the Texans have been really good, and it would be nice to see them have this big turnaround. And CJ Stroud is a rookie win a playoff game, but I can't see it. Again, I think personally, I think the quarterback, I think CJ Stroud. I mean, obviously Joe Flacco's what, 38 years old, right? 38, 39. He's old, right?
Yeah, he's getting up there. I could
He's
check
getting
it
up
for you,
there in
but I
age.
mean,
Yeah, but I think the
Ah,
defense is going to be the difference maker in this game for the Browns. I'm taking the Browns over the Texans too. I don't know about the overtime, but I'm going to take the Browns in a close one.
you watch it
I
go
just think
overtime. You watch.
if it does, I'll be very amazed.
He
It would be awesome to see. It would be a great
he's
game.
38. He's
38 years
38 years
old.
old.
Oh, see, that's the thing.
He went to my two favorite colleges. He also went to my two favorite colleges, Delaware and Pitt.
He went to
So
Pitt too.
can't really go against him unless he's yeah, he was at Pitt. He transferred to Delaware because he wasn't going to start.
Ooh.
So, and then he
I
took
actually
Delaware
did
to
not
a
know that.
CAA championship, but we will talk about that at some other time.
Yes, if you didn't know,
It was a
EJ is
what a
a
fantastic game that was.
Pitt and Delaware fan.
Yep. Yepper.
All
Hey,
right.
my blue and yellow overalls that I wear to the Pitt games.
All right.
For the next episode, I will do it if
Yes.
Cleveland
All
wins.
right. Yes. If Cleveland wins, bring them out. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's episode of Wild Card Weekend. Again, to go over me and EJ's
I
picks.
will.
Um, we have Dallas. EJ has Dallas beating Green Bay, Lions beating the Rams, the Bucks over the Eagles, Steelers beating the Bills, Kansas City over Miami, and the Browns over the Texans. And then I have Dallas over Green Bay, Lions over the Rams, Bucks over the Eagles, Bills over the Steelers, Miami over Kansas City, and the Browns over the Texans. EJ's internet connection is failing him right now. He is, glitching like crazy. He was
I
just
am so bad. I have so much problems right now. I'm gonna die.
I don't know
The
about
Wi-Fi is gonna kill me.
that. But yeah, so that's gonna
The
wrap it
Wi-Fi
up.
will kill me. I will die. I won't make it. Forget it. Not going to the next episode. I'm just gonna leave.
All right. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the first episode of season 2 of NFL Playoff Pick'em, and we will see you next week.